Hey guys, I am using a Framework 13 laptop. It's been my daily driver for quite a while now. I actually picked up the original Intel Framework 13 laptop, their first generation laptop. I skipped their second gen Intel motherboards and instead waited for the AMD version to come out. And now I finally worked up the courage to ditch completely Windows on my laptop. And I want to talk about a little bit of the difficulties with doing that and the tool, it's in the title by the way, that really helped me successfully make the leap, and so far so good, but I'm gonna keep testing a while until I actually come out with that video. But this is all about using AI to help you make the leap to Linux. Let's talk about it. So here it is. This is my desktop. This is with Linux Mint, which is my preferred distro and always has been my sort of like, I want to experiment with Linux distro for a few reasons. First off, it's one of the big distros, and also it has great support in forums. But that's always been the hang up, at least for me with Linux, in that you always run into an issue of some kind, and then you have to dig for answers. Now, Linux has gotten a lot better in recent years with apps having actual GUIs where you don't have to run the command line, you don't have to hop in the terminal. In fact, as it sits right now, a lot of the big distros, I think you could get away with no command line interface whatsoever as just a basic web browsing user. You could use their software center for getting your apps. You could use just the basic applications to get onto the internet, whether that's Firefox or some other browser that ships with a distro, and then you can download any other browsers that you might need or other apps you might not need. There might not be a ton of reason for every user to hit the command line, but some tools still require you to use the terminal to get them up and running. A great example of this was the Framework 13 laptop has a fingerprint reader, and it's really nice. In Windows, it just has you set it up as one of your login methods, and there you go. With Linux, though, it's supported, but I needed the terminal to actually set up my fingerprints, so ChatGPT, hey, I'm using Linux Mint, and I need help setting up my fingerprint reader. What do I need to do that? And it just tells me. And the nice thing about using one of these big distros is that ChatGPT, in its huge amount of training materials, it's almost certainly been run through training materials to deal with that distro. Whereas if you go with a very niche distro, you might have some more hit and miss type of occurrences. But with Linux Mint, everything I asked it was for the most part pretty much on point. And this is really great for doing things like setting up a fingerprint reader or possibly even troubleshooting some issues. But it's also great for just downloading the apps. If you want to use the terminal to just get the apps that you plan to use, you don't want to have to deal with any sort of app centers. You don't even want to have to deal with going to sort of various websites. You can just have ChatGPT, hey, I'm wanting to install VLC Media Player. What command do I need to do that? And it'll give you that output. And there's no searching through forums or things like that to figure out those commands, which is really important for the Linux amateurs to make the jump from Windows. But what's even more important, when you get some of those outputs, if you're wondering what the command is, like you're reading the command, and maybe you have some basic knowledge, but you don't know exactly what each flag is doing, you could say, hey, ChatGPT, explain the command you just output, and it will tell you what each component of the command means so that you're not accidentally running something that's going to be destructive to your installation or detrimental in any sort of way. Basically, you're protecting yourself by having it explain those commands so that you know what's happening, and also so that if it happens to have hallucinated a command that doesn't exist, you can kind of see what that is. But not only can it tell you commands of how to install certain things, but for the people that are moving from Windows over to Linux and they're very used to doing something a specific way, even if it's something as simple as changing the screen resolution, changing wallpapers, you can ask ChatGPT, hey, I'm in Linux Mint, I'm coming from Windows, what do I need to do this thing? Whether it's change the icon of the start menu, and I'm sure that Linux people won't love me calling it the start menu, but again, I've been Windows most of my life, or whether it's changing wallpapers, connecting to network drives, whatever the case is, it's going to be able to help you out with those, at least on the major distributions. So like I said, I'm trying out Linux Mint as my daily driver, and I'm going to try to run this as long as I can tolerate it. And frankly, so far, I've really only run into exactly one issue that's a little bit annoying, and that is that my two-finger scrolling in Linux Mint is really sensitive compared to what it was in Windows. I haven't actually looked into actually solving that issue yet, so I'm sure there's a way that I can, work with that. But outside of that, now that I have it set up how I want it, there's really not been any major pain points, especially because I don't do a lot of editing on my laptop. My laptop is basically just for web surfing, watching online videos, doing some basic work, but it's all inside of a web browser, so it's not even reliant on applications on the computer itself. And what this does do is allows me a greater deal of customization, and none of this would be really all that feasible or possible if I didn't have a quick way of answering the questions as they came up. And that's the sort of issue that ChatGPT has allowed me to solve with my Linux experience. And just so you know, and this is just kind of a random aside because this is possibly leading to a future where I abandoned Windows on my main setup, I am editing this video using DaVinci Resolve 19, which could be used on a Linux machine. The idea is, one of the things tying me to Windows is Adobe's Creative Cloud Suite. Maybe I can even ditch that in the future. So if you are somebody that's made the transition from Windows over to Linux, I would love to know what your experience was, especially if you're somebody that didn't necessarily have a lot of experience in Linux when you made the switch over. That is, you don't have a lot of work experience with it, you just decided you wanted to get rid of Windows and you wanted to try something new that wasn't Mac. What was your experience? Where were the pain points for your switch over to Linux? I would love to know those thoughts down below in the comments. Otherwise, I am Shane from Hoosier Hardware. We'll see how this experiment goes in the future, and I'll see all of you in the next video.